I actually have.
You got them good.
I know, and I just bought that big box out last night.
Oh, thank you.
You want to get ready
Yeah, let's walk.
Oh, 6:30.
You gotta
I could go
see
for a little
what
bit.
overlaps.
I just can't.
That's what I'm showing is
It's
combined.
right here at the conference center. Sounds great.
So, yes.
That's where they always do it. Chassis.
6:30.
As a team, or do we do it? Then we need to do it as a team, though.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not Tyra. You just
Probably will be.
I don't wait enough.
No, I was thinking about it.
I would.
There you go. I was looking at that. Online about the different kinds.
Terry, you have a
I know.
presentation that sheet you did electronically?
Last week it was emailed.
That's what that's the last, sales meeting.
Some pricing out for the WCR meeting. We all chanted to be the.
Right now.
Oh, right.
But there are some other ones in there, right? That's because
They like that.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I will do it later. But I have to. Well, Darryl is here, but.
I'm filming all that.
Should think about it.
I know.
After trying to.
Oh, you are?
No, my kids are in college.
Did you put your card in? Maybe I'll win since I'm sitting here. You used to win all the time.
Maybe it's not talking about
I know, but I wouldn't invite you. I don't go, I'm not on me. I wouldn't invite
Well, I really
All right, good morning. Let's try again. Good morning. Good morning. Still pathetic, wouldn't you agree, Jeff? That was about as pathetic as Jeff's photo on Facebook.
Yeah.
So we cannot accept that. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I told Jeff he needs to go home and beat his wife's butt. The question is, did you decide watermelon or the other concoction?
Yeah.
Watermelon soup is good, and to answer everyone's question, it is served cold. On my card.
Watermelon.
Everybody was asking, was it hot or cold? Cold.
Yeah. We were having fun last night. My wife blew it up on her phone and said,
We were.
All my friends were like, dude, you gonna let her do that thing?
it's called pain back on her. So, in fact, I want to see a good Facebook photo work between you and Mike. That'd be fun. Wouldn't that be fun for all of us to watch them?
We know he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay, so, what do we have to do? I am what today? I'm invigorated. Why am I invigorated? Because I went on a 3-night vacation over to Cozumel, which I highly encourage everybody to do. I feel refreshed. Cozumel is a great, nice little casual place, 42-mile stretch of a little road that goes around, and there's one section of the island that has no power. And they got a bar down there called Coconuts, and it is a lot of fun. Very strong drinks. And we had a good time and hired a driver, and we ended up having dinner at his house the next day. You can't make it. It was a great experience. So at the end of the trip, we're kind of a little schnockered a little bit, and he goes, "Well, I love to cook, and oh, I'm by my house. Let me take you by my house." And so we go by, and his wife's sitting outside, and they're like, "Why don't y'all come over for dinner?" We're like, "Okay." And so they cooked us lobster and fish and shrimp, and here they are in this little humble abode, and we go in what we would consider here as one of the worst slum areas you could live in. And they were just as happy as could be. 7 family members living in this home together, a 26-year-old son and his wife, the grandfather, the 2 parents, and a 13-year-old son. And it was just interesting, the different dynamics between the 2 cultures. And I was like, what do y'all think about, Americans? I mean, truly, what do you think? And he said, money came in the equation. So we think that y'all are very wealthy whenever you come over here. And, we're tourist trap and all this stuff. So it's very interesting because the son, the 26-year-old son, him and his wife had just bought some land, and they were starting to build their home. And he goes, "Yes, the land was sold by some 21st century." And I go, okay. Century 21? Yes, that's it. I was like, however, I don't get that. So it is a small world, but I will tell you, it was awesome. It was a phenomenal experience, is what it was. And it really kind of identified, these people were so happy, and they said what they did is they worked very hard, and they kind of help each other out. And I thought this was cool. So the daughter has moved away, she's an attorney, everybody else still lives in the house. And while we're eating dinner, the grandfather goes and sleeps on the couch. So, right in front of us. It's like, wow. And they slept in hammocks for a while, so they had these hooks in the walls that were embedded in the cement walls that they went and pulled out a hammock, and so of course I had to get in it, and they showed me how to wrap up like a cocoon and stuff. It's like, it's awesome stuff. You just can't make this stuff up. So anyway, we're going to start the meeting off, getting everybody up and getting the juices flowing, so Hyro, hit the good music, young man. Feel better now. All right, meeting's over, let's go. Apparently you didn't stop drinking.
Yeah.
And you didn't bring them.
Must have been some good. That's why there's 8 largest in the world.
Am I right, roller coaster? Woo! All right, so. No, you know how you have the best night's sleep in the world when you sleep 3 nights in a very stiff, uncomfortable bed, and then you get home and you go, oh my God, this feels so good. So, set my sleep number to 45. Got an 81 for all of you that care. 81 on the sleep number thing, that's not bad. Okay, so with 5, 5, 10 time, I'm going to be drilling this, and you know what? If you don't have a listing that's been gone active, and you don't have a listing that's gone under contract, then you have friends and you have other listings in this office that you can take and borrow, and we're going to talk about that because everybody needs to get in their head. 5, 5, 10 time. I'm going to go out there and generate business from 5, 5, 10. I'm going to show you how to shift your head around thinking about not just a listing in the neighborhood, but starting to hit on your friends, not hitting on your friends, but educate your friends and using the inventory that the office currently has to do that. So, before we get into all that sales meeting to make money, we're going to talk to Best Deal Movers. So come on up here, Eduardo, right?
Edmundo.
Edmundo. There you go.
Wow, well, I've been doing sponsoring breakfast since 1998, and I've never seen an office like this. My name's Edmund Ruiz. I am the general manager for Best Deal Movers. I just came on board to Best Deal Movers about a month and a half ago. I've been doing this for about 18 years now. Have been with probably the largest 2 moving companies out here in Atlanta. But there's nothing like Best Deal Movers. And it starts with the infrastructure. And what I mean by that, it starts with the people that are in the company, the owners of the company, and the process. It's just like everything. You can be in one company where it sounds good, but when you start digging inside, it's not. This is totally different. Best Deal Movers, local, residential, commercial. We do packing, we do unpacking. We also can do storage. And the way we can handle storage, during this time, a lot of people they sell their house, they can't move into their new house for 2 or 3 days, a month, a week. We have the capability to be able to store people's furniture for that period of time without handling the furniture more than once. It's very important. Our employees are all background checked, drug screened, and I'm personally interviewing each one that comes in. I was in the Marines for 13 years, so I don't fool around, which I don't know if it's good or bad. So some of my employees, they're smiling so far, so I don't know if they're going to keep on smiling. What makes us different, again, is our employees. Their incentives they have. Incentives are damages, comes out of their paycheck, plain and simple. If they're now accidents are going to happen, but if they're careless with people's furniture, it's going to cost them. Now, if they're not, they will also get an incentive. So it's to make sure that when they handle furniture, they handle it like if it's theirs. Again, we can do anything with residential, commercial, long distance, you name it, we can handle it. If it comes referred from someone in this office, and the reason why I say that is I personally know Louis, we went to high school together. And I don't want to say what year, but that's okay. Yes, sir. We were in Puerto Rico, we went to a military high school in Puerto Rico, 1972, 73. I've known Louis for
You look a lot younger.
So that was 72, I think.
You'll pay for that.
So, an example, I know Louis for 10 years. I walked into his house, we've been talking. I walked into his house to do an estimate. By the time I got out of the house, we sat down at a table. It was just unbelievable. His wife is my sister's best friend, so that's how close we are. So now, what I tell you is, I have to answer to this man. Okay? So I promise you, if it comes referred from anyone in this office, not only will I make sure that they are taken care of, but I will give them a not to exceed estimate. So when I give them a price, they know that it's not gonna go over, it's only gonna come under. That's my guarantee. You have my business card on the table, please have them call me directly. I have like 4 other salespeople. Salespeople, as you know, we're about money, I'm about service and quality. So make sure, just have them call me. We are starting to get ready for a realtor referral program that I'm in the process of doing that. I promised Louis that I was gonna bring bottles of water, but we still have not received them. So very soon you're gonna see some bottles of water from us here, and you will see me in this office a bit, okay? It's my goal. Any questions, anything at all? Yes, ma'am.
You're very good at what you do, I can say that firsthand.
Well, thank you, ma'am. There's a couple of agents I do know in here. Sarah is one of my best friends too. So again, if there's anything anyone needs, please don't hesitate. If there's a question, if another customer has a mover and they just want to make sure they're doing the right thing, all I ask is that I be one of the 3 estimates. That's all. And we are going to do a raffle at the end. I have 2 gift cards to give out, so I'll do that at the end. Is that
I
okay?
have to say something, he moved my house. And,
The whole house?
Well, not him, his company moved my house, and I can tell you that was nothing missing, and nothing broken. Not one item was broken.
And let me say that the cool thing is, Best Deal Movers is a local company. Mary Becker used to have her license here. Very nice woman, lived right here in Cumming, Georgia. They started the company several years ago and worked very hard and built it to a point. And he's coming over. I've known him through another organization he's with. And he's going to bring a nice systemized thing and approach to kind of, it's a great relationship of having him go work for them. He just started with them a month and a half ago. So I look forward to you making them even better. So excellent job, and I appreciate it. Been very connected in the realtor community out there and has done a phenomenal job.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Again,
I have a customer that's gonna have all the hardwoods down on the first floor.
yes, sir.
Would you be able to help them get all that furniture upstairs and into
Upstairs
the
in the
bedrooms
garage,
and
we can handle
wherever?
that. I can take pictures and put the paintings back exactly the way you want. However, I can handle anything when it comes to small, large, and next.
So truck or no truck? Okay, great.
Okay, thank you again.
I thought you were going to say, could you help to sand the floors for me?
I'm running that day too, I'm out of there.
Okay, next we got Mr. Zuloff, who last week, Jeff, we had a firm commitment from Fidelity while you weren't here of 2.25% this week. And so we're excited that you're going to live up to that.
Going 2 1/8.
Stand up and make it good, make it count.
Well, I'm in bigger eyes too. I worked out this morning. My legs feel like jelly. We did legs today, so I'm just trying to get in shape like this guy here, Mr. Skinny.
No, that was the same photo that we saw, you look like jelly.
That was after. That was after the workout. No, but interest rates have been really good. There was a time about a week ago, for one day, for about 4 hours, rates hit like 3.5 on a 30-year fix with no points for like 4 hours in that window. But if you got in at that time, you got a great rate. So right now we're holding steady about 3.625 without any points. Very good. FHA rates 3.25 with some rebate towards the closing cost. So that's good. 15-year, I quoted a 15-year the other day, 2.875 on a conventional.
Oh, yeah.
What did you say? 2.875, 0 points. Phenomenal.
Oh,
In the 2, so anyone looking to refinance, try to get people off the fence with 2.875 shouldn't be too hard. Buying a house, so rates are great. There was a thing on the news today about the Case-Shiller index. Did you see that, Terry? We're up a little bit on that. So, Case-Shiller is the measure of the.
Oh, hold on. Everybody here already knows that, Jeff. Who wants to tell us what the Case-Shiller index is?
Who? Karen?
Okay.
We were working too late last night, Jeff. We did.
Go ahead and tell them what it is, Jeff.
Case-Shiller, they do 2. There's a 10-city and a 20-city measure. They take all of the.
Hold on. Is Atlanta in the 10 city, the 20 city, or in both? Let me hear the 10 city, raise your hand. Okay, the 20 city, raise your hand.
I don't know.
And both. And we have a lot of people have to leave the room because you did not participate. They're in only the 20 city. Okay, keep going.
And so it measures the amount of increase in the value of the home.
Since when?
I don't recall the year.
January of 2000.
January of 2000, there you go. Well, we got it. And so right now I saw on the news that it's up 5.4%, so pretty good.
Atlanta.
Metro,
for the whole composite,
the
so
20 cities.
20 cities.
So what it means is in January of 2000, that was your 100% line. That was the baseline. So let's say a home was worth $100,000 at that time. And today it's worth $150,000, and that home has had a $50,000 increase, theoretical. So that is Atlanta's margins. You go back to that point in time of January of 2000, and that's what they based it off of. And that's how they look at the increases.
Good news, feds aren't gonna raise the prime again, so hold steady, wait and see. Looking at what's happening in China and all over, and right now rates are gonna stay pretty steady for a while, so that's my good news so far.
Good.
And typically in the past, guys, when the Fed made a decision, we didn't have a little blip that we've had here. So you've got a little opportunity for people. The rates are going to go up, period. We're already in the cycle, it's been set. They're gonna draw it out a little bit more because of all the world economy and the worry about that. So your buyers have a very short window of opportunity. The rates will be going up, and when we look back in a history line, and we're 3 to 5 years out, you're gonna see it be a smooth line. You won't see this little blip here, just a nice smooth line that goes up with the rates. That's what happens. So you've got a very small window of opportunity for people looking to buy right now. And that's what you guys gotta remember, that they are going up. It is not gonna go back down. The prime and the Fed funds rate will take another step up. They're not gonna go back down. Trust me.
Had a couple of questions on FHA loans, and one was around septic. If it has a septic tank, then it doesn't need to be cleaned, but if the people have moved out of the property and it's empty when they do the appraisal, we just need a letter stating that it's functioning properly, that it works. Another thing, repairs. If you write repairs into the contract, our job is to protect the buyer. If they're gonna be done before closing, we want the buyer to email, this has to be an email saying that everything was done to their satisfaction, because we're there to protect the buyer. So if you put it in the contract, just know that we're gonna follow up to make sure it gets done to the satisfaction of the buyer. That's all I have. So if you, another thing, termite letters on FHA, we don't need them unless you put it in the contract. Leave it out of the contract, we don't need it, so.
Okay.
All right.
Showtime and no time, sit on it down. All right, Rob, who would you like to introduce today?
We've got new agent with us, Jillian Everett, coming to us from one of our competitors. She was one of our top, actually their top producer last year. So she's decided to come over and join us, so welcome.
I think she's leaving after seeing y'all dance. So. I'm out of here. So. Everybody say it's been nice knowing you, Jillian. Jillian, this is what it is. It's what you belong to now, so I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But here, she comes from the same office with Phil. Do you like it now? No.
He had the same look. He immediately got an office and locked himself in.
Father, we have to take him to the hospital, so he can't come. Before we do have a new addition, Sean Doherty just joined us from Muffling Associates.
Excellent. Fine young man, lives over in Polo, was making the trek, same trek as Carolyn Waters was with Muffling Associates down in town, and he said, hey, you know what, I don't want to be out in this area, I need to absolutely be wearing it out. So we're excited to have him on board, and you'll meet him next week, I'm sure. Okay, what's going on this week? Here's the deal, guys. You might not like the look of it, but I'm going to tell you, if you just do this stuff, let me ask you this. Do you think if you don't have 10 active listings or more at any given point in time, do you think your dialogue is better than the scripts that are laid out? No is the answer. So I'll give that to you. So here's the deal. Here's how you can increase your income and do it small steps where you don't have to go. I'm going to do it daily. We're going to make it so simple for you. Come into a nice positive environment from 9 to 9:30. Script practice. Everybody say it with me. Script practice. See, that didn't hurt. Okay. No, not script. Listen, I'm going to be here. 9:30 to 10:30. Oh my God, we're not calling people. That's right. Now, I don't care if you do sphere of influence, calling expires, or fishbows. The whole thing is challenge yourself. Heather Byron sent me a nice little text last week, and I laughed, but she's getting it at a whole different level. She drew her little circle over here. She said, my comfort zone. Then drew a big circle over here and said, where the magic happens. And the whole point was, you gotta get out of your comfort zone in order to get in the area where the magic happens, where the other people are making a killing. Because they went through the same cycle also. They had to get uncomfortable within themselves in order to get beyond where they are. And that's all I want you guys to think about. I don't care. Sarah Stovall's been coming in here on Swatter days and making calls. Sarah in here? There she is. How's it been? Now, I know you didn't come this last time, but you came before.
I came, I
We were
was
here
here
this Saturday.
Saturday.
This last Saturday, but the Swatter day before.
I was working.
Okay.
It's, it is a little uncomfortable, but, you know, most of you know my brother and my dad, and they're like, you call enough of those people to make you a salesperson, because when you call those people, they're usually pretty pissed off that their house hasn't sold, and they're getting loads of calls, and you just have to, you have to be able to break through that. And I think that's what the Mike Ferry scripts do, is you can read it, and you can break through that barrier, and if you can keep them on the phone long enough, pretty good, you're gonna get an appointment.
Read the question, have them answer, go outside the questions, go back to the questions, have them right out in front of you. It's very simple. And guess what happens? The more times you do it, what happens? The more comfortable you get. So then all of a sudden, the more comfortable you get, what happens? The more conversations you tend to have. The more conversations you tend to have, the more comfortable you get. And it all works together, and all of a sudden you start getting deals happen as a result. And then you get really excited like Sarah did from the listing. She got a 699 from the November time that she made the calls, which was her first time coming in. Cool stuff. And now she's going, hey, you know what? I might not be able to make it every Saturday, but I know I'm going to be making it regularly to these things. And by the way, Sarah made a killing last year. She doesn't have to do it. She could sit there and say, no, I'm not going to grow anymore. I'm fine making what I make. She said, no, I want to do better. And this is going to be something I haven't done before. Then I'm going to figure out how to do it. So I challenge each and every one of y'all. Come Wednesday, come Thursday, get better at it. Come on Swatter Day. And by the way, Swatter, we having it this Saturday? Yes, we are, because it's up here on the board, as you see. So don't think of it as going, oh my God, I don't want to call expireds. You have to be calling somebody, right? So come bring your sphere of influence. Heather Byer said, I'm going to call my sphere of influence. Can you come up with a script for me? I wrote a script out for her. She said, hey, this is great. I appreciate it. Call FISBOs. So we're going to cover all these things. Thursday, 1 to 2, Zap Tune-Up. Here's how we're going to work together with you guys. We're going to put this on a little timer thing. 1 to 2 p.m., Zap Tune-Up. It's not the webinar stuff. It's right here, raw stuff. Who's going to be leading it, Hyro? The big man on campus right there. The hero, the Hyro. The Zap specialist is going to be doing it, so it's going to be right in here. So it's not going to be something that you can't control and something that you go, oh my God, these people don't understand where I am. Hyro's going to be doing it custom right here Thursday, 1 to 2. You fired up about Hyro? Look at him, he is pumped. He is on Friday, 9 to 10, talk to Terry. That's me if you don't know. Strategies that matter. You bring your stuff. And I'm going to suggest to you guys this. Jim Bullis was the first one that emailed me stuff. He emailed me 4 questions the night before, which I thought was cool. What that did is that he thought about it and said, hey, these are things that I'm having problems with, and they were centered around new homes and what to do and handling home builders and stuff and how to negotiate contracts or what can you do to set things up and protect yourself. Came in here, we had a great conversation. It was good. Yeah. Thank you for doing that. If you want certain things covered, just email me and go, hey, I want to make sure I get these taken care of. Think about it before you come in the door. Don't come in the door and go, let me think about it. Make it for you. So Friday, 9 to 10, and then on Saturday, it is Swatter Day. 9:30 to 12. Get over your fear and get over your ego. By the way, do you know why some people have a problem with script practice, role playing, and calling others in front of others? Because it's their ego that really gets in the way. They know what they sound like, and they don't want others to hear what they really sound like when they make the calls because they don't know what they're saying. Think about that. Interesting. So get over your fear and get over your ego. Swana, can you help people beyond that?
Absolutely. Come and join us and we will work.
So,
I just wanted to say something. Sarah said, you know, yeah, when you call the people, they're all angry. But remember, if you don't, somebody else will. So you're not going to stop from seller being harassed by the calls. It's just that you're not going to have the opportunity to get them to go with you.
and anticipate this. Here's what you should do before you call expired. Sit down with somebody for 5 minutes and say, yell at me and scream at me and call me every negative name in the book.
That's why it works.
And then you go, hey, I've already heard the worst I can't get any worse than that. And then somebody says, I hate all you agents, y'all suck. And then you go, can you imagine what my world is? I got to deal with these people every single day. Is that not true?
That's true.
And then all of a sudden, guess what happens? By the way, that person reacts like that to all the agents that are calling. Guess what the agents do? Oh, okay, as opposed to just going, can you imagine what my world's like? I deal with these crazy people every day. And then what happens then, their pattern stops and they go, it makes them stop. And you go think about it. And then you go into another conversation with them where nobody else broke beyond that. That's where you get good. That's where the magic happens. But you get comfortable with it. Are you going to be yelled at? Sometimes yes, you will. Are you going to be cussed at? Sometimes yes, you will. But those are opportunities to slap those people in the face and go back with a different direction than what they're used to. Hang up.
Don't call them. Sometimes they just want you to listen. They just want you to listen to what they have to say.
Right.
And hey, why don't you leave me alone? Well, maybe you need an aggressive approach. Maybe that's why you're home expired. I can deliver a more aggressive approach for you. Doesn't that make sense? I thought about it like that. Yes.
Swada's really good because she kind of works the room, and if she hears it, it's almost like fishing. If you got one, she hears it, and she'll kind of, you'll be talking, and she'll help you with the next line if you go, oh, she'll be like, well, if you wanted me, where are you going to, and she keeps the conversation going, and she helps you. And then all of a sudden, they're not pissed off, they want to talk, and you get an appointment. So, good job, Swada.
Well,
Thank you,
very
Swada.
good job.
Swada is like a school teacher. I mean, she can hear 15 people at the same
At the
time.
same
Boom, she's right beside you when you need help. And she is there to support you.
And hey, by the way, no matter knowing, Swada is there making calls herself.
Absolutely.
Guess what happens when she gets a lead?
I have no idea.
She gives it to somebody, and guess who she's gonna give it to? Those
Somebody in
that
there.
come on that day. Quite simple. I'm gonna give it to those that are working hard, that are in here honoring the things that they need to do to honor their business first, and I'm gonna make sure that she can get her money. So she's gonna give out the leads that she procures to the people that she sees come through the class. It's not a class, it's a, you don't have to come from full time.
Get
The
together.
thing is just come and be a part of it at some point in time. Yes.
Terry, now that we're the 18th largest Century 21 brokerage firm
Okay, let's be careful. Office.
office in the world, should we not leverage that conversation into our calls somehow, some
I
way?
think you absolutely should. I think that's important.
Okay.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah,
give us a script. Hold on a second, let me think something out real quick.
Terry, I've done that, but I've been asked, and I don't know if you can supply it or if you want to supply it, well, who's number one? And people have asked me that, and I said, they don't tell us that. Yeah.
California, that
I'm gonna say something very interesting. I want you all to listen to this and pay attention, because I'm glad you asked that question. The number one office in the world, where do you think it is? Cairo, where is it?
Mexico.
Yes.
Utah.
Utah.
Hold on.
Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
Utah. Do you know what those guys do? Do you know what those guys did? I met them in the first couple months. George and John, they're the owners. And I went out there and I studied it. As a matter of fact, we kind of reorganized ourselves after their model to a large degree, where we came in and said, let's build some production coaches that can help bring people in, but more importantly, help the agents here groom up, okay? So when I went out there and saw what they were doing, I said, wow, that's pretty amazing. But they said in the first 6 months of joining Century 21, they sat there in this management retreat and they said, we're going to be the number one office in the country and in the world. And I thought, what a bunch of hot air coming from this guy. He had no idea what these people are about at Century 21 and stuff. And I was offended. And then sure enough, within a year and a half, they're the number one office in the country. And they did it with a vision and a purpose. But they said every single morning we come to our office at 7:30 in the morning. For half an hour we do chanting of positive affirmations. Then we do a half hour of script practice. So from 7:30 to 8:30, they're in that office. And he said, we have 40 to 50 people in the room. I said, you're full of it. So I went out there and I got my butt up and I went over their office at 7:30. Sure enough, there's 40 to 50 agents sitting in the room at 7:30. And they got music playing and they're in there chanting their little positive affirmations. And then they go in their script practice and then they go in for an hour of banging out phones.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We get that too legit to quit. The song. Jim Lewis is gonna be conducting. Hey, why not? Hey, look, Jim, here's Atlanta time. 9 to 9:30, y'all up there.
How many agents do they have?
Well, they grew it. So at that point in time, they had 180 agents. Out of that one office, now we got 360. Okay? But now they are the #1 office in the world for Century 21. And you know what they did? So keep this in perspective. They did 24 million GCI last year. We did 9.32. And that was pretty darn good. That was great. They more than doubled our production last year. Now, most of their price point's less than ours, guys. So here's the cool thing. Anybody can do it. You know, they've got a lot of young people that have gone and done it. You know what those young people do? They get in there and they make the calls and do all the things that a lot of us are not willing to do. Keep in mind, we got an older generation here. No harm, no foul. But I can promise you this. We can bring young people in here and they'll follow the script, they'll follow the plan, and within a year to 2 years, they're gonna be beating every one of you that's not doing it. So we're seeing a shift in the market. Guess what? When I got into business from the new home stuff, I was 30 years old. I was willing to do everything that the older people weren't. I went out there within a year. I was #1 agent in this whole pocket. Wasn't because I was smarter than anybody else. I was just willing to do what they were not willing to do. And I did it better, period. So we're at the same point in time. You just got to overcome your mental hangups and go, hey, you know what? What difference does it make? What if I go out there and have the same reaction as Heather Byer did when she went out door knocking in her neighborhood in her cul-de-sac, took some stats out, took a little basket out and met 10 neighbors she did not meet before, and 2 of them said, I didn't even know you're real estate. She said, wow, it does work. That's all I want to do is help stimulate you guys. So 5-5-10, I want you to think about that every single week that you're in business here. That's one of the things that we're going to do. If every one of y'all did 5-5-10 this year, every single week, I can't tell you how much our business would absolutely explode. And the guys out in Utah, when their agents got a listing, 5-5-10, it was part of their DNA. And it's working. It's pretty awesome. So that's how we're going to take this to the next level. Now, what has you staying in this business? Now, some people go, I've got a theoretical application of this question. Some people say, oh, it's not about the money. Yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you this. It is all about the money. Because you might have different things that you want to do with the money. But my contention is this. If you worked in this business for 6 months and paid out and never made anything back, would you stay in this business? No. And if you did, then I'd be going, what are we going to do to connect the dots so that you can make money in this business? Because if you don't make money in this business, you cannot stay in this business. Now you might go, hey, when I make money, I want to give back to the community. I want to do charitable things. I hope that you guys do that. But everything in this world evolves around what do you generate business-wise and what do you want to do with that money. So you might go, I'm in business so that I can go give my money away. Great. So make the money and make more people happy. Whatever your dream and whatever your vision is, I hope you give back as part of the plan. But everything in this business generates around the dollar. So what you do is what makes the difference. We get back in a lot of different ways. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, yeah. We get back. It's from internal stuff. We got a lot of agents in here who do a lot of great things. We'll get behind them. Okay? So remember this. We want to help you get more of that so you can do more of what you ultimately want to do with your life, whatever that is. Okay? See, I did it twice just to have a little extra impact on that. All indicators point this spring being the busiest since 2006, but we'll need to see inventory grow more robustly this year to satisfy these buyers. I'm going to keep harping on this because you know how you guys are going to change this for this area around here? That's what I went on last night. I go, let me look in this area. I'm going to go from 500,000 up to 800,000. I do this every single week. I just want to see. And you know what's funny? We see a lot of homes turning out there. But then there's a certain block that they've been sitting forever. A long, long time. And I'm going, either the agents are just that terrible, but I know they're not. Some of ours are actually in the list too. But you've got to get the people changing the colors, doing the things to match the new home inventory, and doing things that they're not doing, or dramatically drop the price to meet the buyer's expectations. Or go fire the people if they're not willing to do either one. have the guts to do that. Because the only thing that happens to you when you take an overpriced listing that's not in the right condition, you get a bad name for yourself. And if you're a neighbor out there and you see a sign sit there for 8, 9 months and it never sold, are you gonna use that agent? Doesn't matter what the story was. The sellers really controlled it. Doesn't matter. To those people on that street, you failed. I want you to think about that. So don't be afraid to fire somebody that's not willing to get real. And if they've sat through this market and it hadn't sold, they're not being real and you're not being real with them. Simple as that. The Zillow way. If you were at my Rhett's thing last Thursday, you're gonna get a little bit of the same flavor. I like what Rhett said because I was gonna hand all these out. Everybody's got a little handout on this. I was gonna hand these out this morning and then I thought, no, Rhett said if you hand them out, everybody's gonna be paying attention to this and not paying attention to you. So I said, I'm gonna do the same thing for y'all. You will have handouts up here for everybody in this. Zestimate. Who can tell me what a Zestimate is and what it means?
It's a mess.
It's a mess is what I'm gonna say.
It's average what they think the house is worth with their comp, but they don't never seen the house. They don't know the area. They don't know what's going on per area. Big difference.
It's how accurate the sale price is to what they estimate it is.
Do people want to believe that the Zestimate's real if it's overinflated?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's real.
They're the seller, absolutely. Do they want to use it if it's low and they're the buyer? Absolutely. Are there, who can tell me in Forsyth County what is the exact median error range?
5.8.
Five.
I thought it was 5.8. Yes, now it is.
Gwinnett is 5.9, which is very good.
That's pretty tight.
What's Forsyth?
Seven something. No.
Okay, you guys need to take control. So here's what I did up at the top here. Here's your new friendly website. You don't have to write this down because it's all typed out for you. www.zillow.com/Zestimate/. It will take you to the Zestimate page. But what I wanted to do is focus on some key areas that as you are in this business, you will be faced with somebody that says, oh my God, I'm so excited. My Zestimate was $300,000 on my home. And you know that that is not accurate. You're in Forsyth County. None of y'all can answer the question for them. Why is that not effective for them in Forsyth County? Or what specifically does that Zestimate mean for somebody that lives in Forsyth County? So who in here lives in Forsyth County? As of last week, your Zestimate median error range, which you can tell me what the median error range is to begin with.
That's easy.
Lane, I'll let you go
Yeah.
since you were excited.
That means half of the errors are above that and half of the errors are below that. They have a 50% chance of being inside the error, the median error rate.
Okay. So in Forsyth County, the median error range is 5.3. It was last week. So on a $300,000 estimate, what does that mean to me as a seller?
The 50% chance that it is inside of a range that's $15,900 above and below it, and a 50% chance that it's outside of a range of $15,900. So you've got a 50% chance that that house is worth between $284,100 and $315,900.
Is that good? You know, here's the great thing.
I gotta do 6th grade math with my kids.
He doesn't even know.
He works for Zillow.
No, but I've argued with Spencer Rascott.
That was pretty good, Lane. I'm not sure if you're right, but it sounded.
That would be that is Zillow's self-stated margin for error. That they
But what does that mean?
That means that they are admitting they do not know your local market. You know your local market. You are the one that needs to sit down with your sellers and show them their subdivision and show them
Tell
their
me
comp.
specifically what it means, 5.3% on the $300,000 range.
That it could be 5.3% lower, or it could be 5.3% higher. They don't know.
So, here's the deal. Would you agree that you might stammer around with that when you hear the question? Do you think all of you in this business are gonna hear somebody say, my estimate was this? And you got a choice. You can either go, that's interesting, or you can go, oh, Zillow stinks. They're so inaccurate, you know, which is most agents do. What I encourage you guys is go to this little website right here, and they've got a little county by county little map that changes. How often do you think it changes? If you were in last week's meeting, can I say? How often do the estimates change?
I think they update them monthly. Daily.
Every day.
Daily.
Every day.
Now, is that inconsistent with what most people thought? Yes. Most people thought they're gonna turn it. So let me say this. You gotta round up in different cases. So like in Gwinnett, I'll use that as, because I've got it written down here, so you're gonna see this. Gwinnett's 5.9%. If I were handling that question, somebody says my estimate was $300,000, I would round up 0.1 and say, our area is 5.9, but I'll use 6% as your median error range. So let me just say, if I read this to you and you go, hey, if I'm the consumer on the other side, does this make a logical sense pattern-wise and that I can understand why I might want you as the agent to come talk to me? Lane, you nailed everything 100% correctly, I think, but you talk too many variables that you're kind of going, what the hell did you just say?
Yeah.
So what I'm telling you guys, this is a beautiful comment around script practice and role play. If you use this, tell me if you think it would work and have somebody go, oh, okay. So when someone says, the Zestimate said my home is worth $300,000, do you know what that means about the real value of your home? And you know what they're gonna say? No. You know why? Because nobody else is asking that question. So all they want to do is believe my estimate was this. It didn't say median error range, it just said my estimate range is this.
You have to go digging for that.
In our area, the average median error rate is 6%, which would mean from a 30,000-foot view, your home's value might be worth $282,000 to $318,000. How would you like to find out a closer range than that? That sound okay? If you're a consumer and I say, hey, here's what that really means to you, it could be 282 to 318. Do you feel confident about Zillow's estimate at that point in time? Probably not. How many of you would like it if you were able to go into a home and have a 12% range of price? You could say, I think we're listed from here to here. And somewhere in there, it's going to sell. Do you think you can sell some homes if you said, I think it's going to be 282 to 318? And you will accept that as a seller? No, they wouldn't. So how can I get a seller to you? How can I get that range? Well, there are two options. One is free and one that costs about $400. An appraisal will cost you about $400, but I can do it as a professional realtor for free. What time Friday would work best for you? Could any of you say that and feel comfortable that you not sound like a salesy, aggressive person? Does it make common sense? Anybody got a problem with it? So I wrote it out for you guys because I came up with this before I was going on a springtime thing last spring for Zillow, and I thought, what does that really mean to me as a consumer? And so I put this together, and Rob was sitting in the audience, he goes, where'd you come up with that? I said, I really just kind of thought, if I'm a consumer on the other side, what do I need to know and what do I need to hear so that I'm willing to listen to an agent, that I don't want to sound whiny as an agent. I don't want to sound like I'm just complaining. I want to sound like I'm an educational source, but I got to know what that variable is for my area. So right now today, 5.3% was last week's median error range for Forsyth County. Go to this website and find out what that is for your specific pocket, what your county is. Now, who can tell me how can a consumer change their home? Let's say that you have a consumer that added a bedroom, and the bedroom-bathroom ratio is off in the Zestimate. So they look online and they go, hey, I'm getting ready to list my home, and my Zestimate is off. It's low because I don't have the bedroom added on here. How can they change that?
I have to go claim it.
Then go claim it. You know what I did so easy? I want this to be so easy for you. I want you to have control. Right here under the Zestimate.com, or excuse me, Zillow.com/Zestimate/ it has it right in there. All you do is click this button where they claim it home, and then it takes you through the process. It is so easy. But if you don't know where to go find it on that little website, you'll never find it. If you go as a consumer to Zillow, it's hard to find the Zestimate section that answers all the questions. So go to this site, make your world a lot easier and have control. Any questions about this? Now today, I'm going to leave these right over here. I hope at the end that all of them are gone, because that will mean that y'all are going to be going on a little journey to learn more about Zillow and the Zestimate and make your world a lot easier. By the way, do you think this is going to be good information to go on a spring market run to get people to list their homes and have you with another valuable source to talk to somebody? Yes, go educate. I saw an agent last week put out, Gwinnett County is 10% off in their estimates. And I thought, no, they're not. And I can make you look like a fool when I walk in with this type of information. Right? So you got a lot of realtors saying the wrong stuff out there. All right, so, learn these things. By the way, what's a value range? Anybody want to tell me what a value range is?
Let's go to self-care here.
Yeah, that's the range. Well, range could be more like in the equation, if it was 300 and it was a 6%, it'd be, the value range would be 282 to 318. Okay, and it doesn't mean that that's 100% accurate, it just means that in that range, how many percentage points? 50% are within that value range. That means they can also go outside that. How often is this estimate updated?
Daily.
How can someone correct all their information on Zillow that affects their home's estimate? Claim it and follow the directions. Tips to make business happen. Take control right now, take control today. Create your current database. Who in here has a very current database that they work and mine each week? About 4. Some of you are going, I'm going to kind of raise my hand, but I'm not really sure. So, start running your business today. Create your database and add at least 8 new contacts per month to that database. That's simple, right? Who in here thinks that's too difficult to manage a business like that? So, go to your database, create your current database, and add at least new contacts per month. Hey, here's a great thing. Y'all are doing so good the way that you're running things. If we just add a couple of these, awesome! So excited. 2, goal, 4 listings per month. 4 listing appointments every single month. Who in here would like to have that? That's 48 appointments a year. Or no, I'm sorry, actually, well, no, you're going to take a couple weeks off. 48, we'll go with that. Okay. Well, no, I'm sorry, there's 12 months in a year, 52 weeks. I was right, 48.
That's Brian figured.
Then you know what you got to do? This is great. You know what you got to do? Come Wednesdays and Thursdays. Come on Saturdays. Overcome your fears, overcome your ego. Practice, script practice, role play, get better each and every single day. If new, commit to 2 effective open houses per month. If you don't know what an effective open house is, we've got a very specific strategy and focus that you can have. It's in a PowerPoint presentation, and we can go over with it very easily. But it's not easy. But most people want the easy way. If you do the difficult way and you do it more effectively, you're going to be amazed at what it can do for your business. 3 FSBO meetings each week. Use Zillow as a reference for finding them. By the way, let's look at this like, who's been on Zillow in the last month as a consumer? Thinking about it as a consumer. Going, I want to go see what Zillow is showing. What'd you see out there? What'd you see in Zillow that you typically don't look at as an agent?
For sale by owner.
They got for sale by owners on there. They added that and changed that. What does coming soon mean?
So me, I got it listed and it's coming out.
An agent that's got it listed, that's going to be putting coming soon out there, that can advertise the property coming soon on Zillow. There's hardly anybody using that right now. What's another one? So you got FSBOs on Zillow that are mapped off. You go click on them, you got all these sellers' information. Easy. Pre-foreclosures, let's talk about those. You see on there foreclosures. Are they accurate?
No.
No. Don't waste your time on them. Here's the thing. They go back a year. If somebody got a pre-foreclosure notice, let's educate you on this. If somebody got a pre-foreclosure notice, what does that mean to them? They got 30 days to solve that problem, or they're going to be thrown out, their home's going to be sold in steps. Okay? That's a pre-foreclosure notice. In Zillow, best I can tell, if you got a notice in the last 12 months, your home pops up as a pre-foreclosure. So I could have solved my equation 11 months ago, and I'm still showing up as a pre-foreclosure, and people are getting excited about that, going, I want to go buy a foreclosure. Hey, you agent, go call these people, and let's make it happen.
But they don't want it.
No, that's their system. It goes back 12 months, right? But best I can tell, it's about 12 months. I've seen some that were further back than 12 months. But you got to be able to know that to tell the buyers that are going, let's go call all these people. You got to be able to say, that's not really accurate. And here's why. Okay?
You know where they get that pre-foreclosure information?
They get them from local papers, and there's different services that put them into an Excel sheet. I don't know exactly how they get them. But
So they're actually getting not just a 30-day letter, but they're actually getting the notices, the public notices that are appearing in the paper. That's what it means.
Right.
Gotcha.
So bottom line, at one point in time, the people that are on that, at one point in time, were in a financial situation that they may be going to foreclosure. How many people, when they get a 30-day letter, how many of them actually go to the foreclosure steps?
Very small percentage.
1% is what Sarah says, and she spends a good bit of time down there each month.
I mean,
So-
they'll send you out a pre-foreclosure notice when you're trying to go through loan mods and you're not really in any danger because they've got one automated system while you're working with another department. So there's not any accuracy there.
No, but the thing that people go by when they're advertising, these are pre-foreclosures, they're advertising it from they got a 30-day notice that if their note is not cured, then they're gonna be foreclosed on the next Tuesday of the month. The first Tuesday of the month, next month.
And you have to remember that Zillow is a national site, and so not everybody forecloses the way that Georgia forecloses. So there's gonna be a lot of
Yeah,
differences there
that's
too.
an excellent point.
Because sometimes it can take a year.
By the way, what about the Make Me Move button? Have y'all seen the Make Me Move button? What does that mean? What is the Make Me Move button?
If somebody's willing to pay my price, I'll go.
As a consumer, I'm not listed with an agent, but God, if you're willing to overpay for my house and pay me this much, I will move. Are those good opportunities for an agent to call?
Yes.
Yes. Not to go list it at the price that they're telling you, but go in there and educate them and start the process just like a for sale by owner. Opportunities right there. So this one I want you guys to remember in walking and talking through this stuff. You are where you are because you are okay with it and the decisions you allow yourself to make each day.
Can you turn the heat up?
I'm just getting fired up.
Well, it's not radiating.
Well, Monica felt you and they can't come over here and turn it off.
Oh,
So,
thank
Eric, no, shut up. Everybody say, thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
I want you guys to think about this right here. See if you can read it with me. You are where you are because you're okay with it and the decisions you allow yourself to make each day. That's a very painful thing to accept for some, and others that get it, they'll go, you know what?
You're right.
Who is it up to? You.
Me.
We can provide you every single thing under the sun, but if you do nothing with it, nothing's gonna change in your world. We've added so many things through the years that it's like, hey, anybody that leaves here thinks they're gonna succeed somewhere else, just go get out of the business. Because there's no way you can. You gotta have the support, you gotta have the help, you gotta have the tools, and you gotta figure out what are you gonna do to change your world. And the only way you can do that is to change yourself on a daily basis. Simple. Painful, but it's simple. I get excited about that, by the way. So, got a picture of that, Denise?
Yes, thank you.
Vision board, who has a vision board in here? Who in here thinks they're hokey? No, you can say it if you do. So if you don't think it's hokey, you don't have one, here's what I'm encouraging you to do. Go get your vision board set. And you're not too late into 2016 to make a difference in your production and in your bank account by the end of the year. So let's walk and talk through a couple of these things because I will tell you, I like travel, right? I like travel more than I ever thought I would. I'm willing to go out there and work my tail off and then go enjoy a little bit of traveling in the process. That drives me. So my vision board is I like having vacations out there. That's a driver. Me and my wife go reconnect and we don't take the kids and it is heaven, right? Because they're her kids. I've heard that. I do not feel that way. Those who know me know how true. So, how do you do a vision board? Go put it out there. Okay, at the end of this year, I'm going to set my sights on doing this much volume. And if I do that, just think simply. Oh my God, I'm going to take a cruise that I've been wanting to take for the last 10 years, but just haven't had the money to do it. Why haven't you had the money to do it? Because you didn't do the things you had to do on a daily basis and execute at a high level to get to that point. But you can. Just do what we tell you to do. Go set your sights on what you want. I'm going to tell you all this. If you've been on cruises and you go, I love doing cruises, what would be a great charger for myself to work a little bit harder each month? Go check out the Haven section at Norwegian.
I was gonna say the new Norwegian ship.
Go check, go do, you want to help, you want to have an example as a vision for your vision board? The Haven section of the Norwegian cruise line is revolutionary for the cruising business. It is like a Ritz-Carlton stacked on top of the Marriott. It's a totally different section. It is a great relaxer. And you can still do the cheesy stuff that I love doing on a cruise. And then you can go upstairs and have all the total relaxation, have a butler for your service and all that stuff. It's cool. It's not that much more money, but it is a world of difference on the experience. It's worth it. How much more would you be willing to work to have something like that, that at the end of the year, as soon as you meet your goals, you go click that trip and you go do it? That's what you gotta do, to make it worthwhile. What about a new car? Mercedes. I didn't take an S class. This is an E class or a C class right here. A Mercedes. It doesn't have to be a $100,000 car. This one right there probably costs about $35,000, $40,000. Right? Some of you need a new car. What do you want though? Some of you might want a little home makeover. I thought about putting a home up here, but I thought, you know what? That's not real, because just for 1 year, you can't go buy a new home. But you know what you can do? I want the master bedroom that feels like I'm in a totally different home. Set out what that is. Take a picture of it. Set it. I'm going to work this much harder this year. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to go to 8 call days a month. I'm going to go to 5 call days. I don't care what it is. Just do something that you're not doing today. And everything is set up in here to do one thing. You're not going to change your world overnight. What I want you to realize is if you can step in a direction and do some of these things consistently over time, you'll be amazed at the difference that it has for you. Take control of your future today. Tony Robbins, he's having, in June, a real estate and mortgage thing out in Vegas. Awesome. Has anybody been to Tony Robbins? One of the best experiences I've ever had. Back in the 90s, I had an experience that I'll never forget. Motivational. This one is specifically targeted to real estate and mortgage industry. In June, in Vegas. Guess what that is, guys? A write-off. It is. Hey, you got to look for opportunities that you can take trips that are worth having and go write them off. That's a great little deal. But Tony Robbins will absolutely change the way that you think, and all his system is designed over is getting you to change the negative influences in your mind and have you look at things differently, and guess what will happen? You'll change your patterns over time too. He's the master of that. So, take control. By the way, you don't have to go to Vegas. You know what you can do? Go get some CDs that you can get online.
YouTube.
And start listening to this stuff.
He's all over YouTube for free.
YouTube. You got all these guys that are out there on YouTube and different things for free. Go listen to them. Start making changes happen. 5510 Attitude World today. Front side of the flyer that is home. Go knocking. By the way, if you don't have a listing, borrow one and send to your friends. Who in here has a listing that they would say, you know what, if a new agent doesn't have a listing, I would love it to be able to tell my listing that I'm going to have 5 new agents go take their flyer and distribute it to their friends with information on the back that I help them with that helps them go communicate with their people. And guess what you would do? I'm going to contact 5 friends a day, 5 friends a day, and then up at 10 once I got a little confidence behind me. That's the phone call, email them. This is how you can change your business if you're new or don't have listings. Okay? Here's why I'm pushing on this. Right now, this month, we have, as of Monday, we had 78 new listings this month.
79.
You don't know if that was on there or not.
It's a new question.
78 active listings as of Monday. Compared to last year at this time, through the month of February, we had 135.
Yeah.
So what I want you guys to think about this is everybody's talking about the shortage of inventory. I'm trying to change your mind, which is not that easy, and you're going to hear me keep beating this drum. I'm trying to change your mind about how you can go out there and control it and start getting people to call you when they're ready to list and engage in the conversations of education, period. And it's not that hard. So I'm trying to make it so easy for you guys that right now we get people stimulated about thinking about moving. Because there's a lot of people thinking about moving, but guess what they don't find? What they want to move to. So they keep saying, I'm going to wait until I find something I want, and then I'll call you. And you know what's going to happen? Some other agent, do you think that people out here only know one agent? No. If you think you're the only people that your friends are talking to about real estate, you are a fool. Even as good as I feel like I am inside, I know my friends talk to other people out there. That's fine. I got to realize I got to be the best. I got to stimulate the conversation. By the way, one of my neighbors, I want to point this out. Here's how you can leverage different people in here. Does anybody in here have a listing that if they found a home, the people that they know, if they found a home, they would put their home on the market in the next couple of weeks? Raise your hand if you do.
I'm sitting there.
Now watch this. We can leverage these things. I was sitting in a friend's home having a scotch about 2 weeks ago. He said, you know what, and he moved in the home a year and a half ago, right? 2 doors down from him, and he says, Terry, I think I'd like to move. But I don't really know. I like it here, but if I found something that I really want, I'd like to get a little bigger home, maybe in a neighborhood with amenities, because his wife's pregnant now. So I just remember that, and I thought, okay, I'll go look, and I'd send stuff over. Nothing, he'd already seen everything. So the neighborhood that he wanted to move into, I contacted an agent that has a lot of listings in that neighborhood, and I said, do you have anything that is coming up? They said, yes, I've got 3. I reached out to him, I said, I got 3 homes that are in X price range. Would you like to go take a look at them? He got excited. One of the homes actually was a home that they put a bid on before they bought this one, and they couldn't work it out. He said it was their dream home. By the way, his wife has a brother who's a realtor. Do you think he's going to use them, or is he going to use me? There's only one way that he's going to use me, and that is to get in the home that he wants to get into. That is his dream home, that's self-admitted by him. So this is how you can control conversations. But when you hear people go, if I find what I want, then get your butt out there and go find something to get them in. That's not on the market because they've already seen it online. So we had about half the room in here raise their hand and said, yeah, I've got a home that if I could. These are the conversations we need to start having and going, hey, do you have a hit list of homes you need to get people into? And maybe we come up with a little board that says, I've got, that'll be in this price range, here's what the plan is. We can come up with something to help stimulate the conversations further because we have to be the people leading that charge. Does that make sense? Further the conversations, get with other agents that have listings in those areas. Backside information has area, community, or high school district with relevant, and I highlighted relevant data that hits the consumer in the pocketbook every time. That is your job. Not to sit there and say, look how great I am, I sold this, I'm the best, I'm da. You show you're the best by the information you put out. You don't go out there and say it, you go out there and show it, okay? And this is how you do it. So, always remember this, the only 2 things that matter in this to your business as a realtor, how many people know who you are and that you are a realtor, and the second most painful one is how they view what comes out of your mouth compared to the other realtors they know. Only 2 things that matter in this business. We can help you with both. What would you do? This is our last thing. And I ran over. This came in just this morning. This was from, can I say who it was from, Phil? It's from Phil. Now, I paraphrase this a little bit, Phil, and if you want to interject. So, offer comes in at full price. It is a VA loan offer, and your seller has heard horror stories about VA loans going bad and does not want to take his home off the market. The buyer has been pre-qualified, and it is 100% loan through VA. Seller says, no way, I'm not going to entertain it. Other agent wants to do whatever they can to come out with some sort of contract because they believe in the law will work out. And they keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. And it's the only offer that you have. And you're sitting there going, well, it's full price. And yes, it is VA, and I understand his issues, and they're real. And I don't want to be the one with egg on my face that if I push him and he takes this, and 30 days later, it doesn't appraise. Was that close enough, by the way? Okay. So, what would you do? Bill, you can answer.
I'd get a deposit
Get a deposit. How would you get a deposit? What do you got?
to take the offer, keep a deposit, non-refundable deposit, if they're serious.
So we have one person that says I'd take a non-refundable deposit, which is a potential. It's a risk reducer. Hey, if you're willing to put down, and don't make it small, if you're willing to put down $5,000, $10,000, depending on the price of the home. If it's over $500, I'd do 10. If it's under $500, maybe 5. Non-refundable deposit of $5,000 to $10,000, and we got to shorten in the appraisal time frame. Can it be 21 days?
How long
Huh?
is it on the market?
I mean, you can say there is no appraisal contingency.
But I mean, isn't there something with VA that it has to appraise?
It has to. They can come up with the money, the difference.
Yeah, that's true.
How long has it been on the market?
Now listen, Phil,
Can they do
it
that?
says it has to
It
appraise.
has to appraise. If it doesn't appraise in a VA, the seller has to lower the price and the buyer gets their money back.
Yeah.
Understand? You can shorten the window in for them to get the appraisal.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that they gotta buy it either, so we can't do the no appraisal contingency, right? But you can shorten in the time frame they have the opportunity to get the appraisal to make your seller feel a little bit better. Yes.
By law, they get 10 days. VA appraisers get 10 business days to do it. We went through it. 10 days.
Yes.
A little out of the ordinary, but I would try to put in a kick out and say, you know what, I'm going to continue to market the property for sale. In the event I get another one, you can either firm up or I'm going to accept the other offer.
Which is the direction that Phil was thinking, at the encouragement of the other agent. The other agent said, hey, can we work out a first right of refusal type scenario?
The problem is, I think for those kickouts, there's a lot of other agents won't show your property once you've been that kickout.
That is accurate.
Right.
I'll show you.
And let me cover this too, because that's an interesting bubble. Because some agents say, well, we're not going to show it as a contingency with the kick out. We're going to leave it active. Can you do that?
Yes.
We write in the contract, so the agent says, hey, we'll write in the contract that the home is not going to be put in the system as
I just like posted on that. No, somebody turned me into FMLS.
We're going to talk about this
Well, yeah,
further than that, Bill. So one, let me steer you guys a little bit more than just FMLS. Fraudulent marketing, fraudulent advertising to the public. And if somebody took their client in there thinking that they could buy that home and it was active when they showed it, and then they later found out, we want to make an offer, and you go, oh, well, I got this other one, we got a little 12, 24-hour kick out on, so we can negotiate yours. If they wouldn't turn you into the Georgia Real Estate Commission, you will be busted for fraudulent advertising to the general public. So let's go beyond FMLS, which it is true in FMLS, under their rules and bylaws. You have to do that within 24 hours of what you're supposed to do. But let's go further. GREC, how would you like to knock on your door? Fraudulent advertising.
No bad.
That's no good.
No.
Okay, so I hope you get that correct pretty quickly.
I did.
So, but that can't happen. Second, it does happen where when you put a CK in there or whatever it is, the contingency with a kick out, that probably reduces about 50% of would-be traffic.
I think at this
Going in
point
that
though, with as little inventory as we have, I think you'll see more people showing this.
How long's it been on the market?
I just see it on the market.
The one that we're talking about right now, been on the market for maybe about 3 weeks.
Okay.
And it's a couple of little insight things. It's an older gentleman. He doesn't like the fact that the buyer doesn't have any skin in the game.
Right.
That's his, I mean, it's kind of old school, but they're asking for, I think they were originally asking for $9,800 in closing costs. And he said, wait a minute, I'm not, he doesn't get that whole concept.
Right.
So he doesn't have much offer.
Right.
But VA closing costs aren't going to be 14% anyway.
Well, let's not get hung up on that. So here's the deal. The other agent came up with, hey, what if we did a first right of refusal? So what I told Phil to do is I said, look, they obviously have an earnest interest in getting it. Just because they're VA doesn't mean it's not going to work out, right? Appraisals are more challenging. Jeff, what you say, appraisals are more challenging on VA, but they've gotten a lot better.
A lot better. I haven't had any issues.
But if you're talking a full price offer, it might be a little tighter and harder, right? But VA's got a lot better on their appraisal, is trying to catch up better. But you definitely don't want to be the one with egg on your face. And even though I agree with Sarah that probably more agents will show homes because of lack of inventory that show CK on there or whatever it is, you can't guarantee that, and you are going to cut off a reasonable percentage of the would-be buyers, right? So it's a tough road to balance in there. But if you protect the seller and you say, hey, beyond this point in time, we've got X dollars that are going to be going hard, right, towards the equation, and tighten those timelines in. 14 to 20 days, somewhere around appraisal contingency, something like that, but tighten it in where it's still reasonable. Jeff, if you have a VA loan, how quick, what's the quickest measure you can have an appraisal done?
10 business days.
10 business days, so maybe shorten it in 12 to 14, make it that quick. And would a seller be willing to wait 12 to 14 days to find out? And then if the buyer's willing to pay for the appraisal and do the rush job, which can cost them a little bit more probably, right, Jeff? Then there's skin in the game, but they gotta have a deposit up front. So there's a workable deal in that,
But don't
but
they have to have a full loan app before you can order the appraisal too? So that's kind of,
What's that?
but they have to have a full loan application before you can order the appraisal. That's going to take a few days too.
Loan application I can do in about 10 minutes over the phone, and then put together the disclosure package that has the appraisal form in it. Another hour, they can have the appraisal ordered the same day. Brokers have to wait till it goes to underwriting, which can take days.
Okay, so why I want to bring this up is this is a manageable situation. It's not a legal situation. It could be a legal situation if you say, hey, we'll take it, we'll put it under contract, we'll still market and act.
Stop.
Hold on, Louis.
I have sold a lot of VA homes. To this day, I haven't had any problems with any of the loans, appraising or not. I had one that a gentleman, same situation, was a little concerned, there's no skin to the game. And we wrote the contract with a $5,000 down refundable upon closing. And we closed the deal, VA didn't have any problem, and the seller was agreeing to that. And it was a $5,000, you had to put money down. If it closed, then they got the money back. If it didn't close, they lost the money. And since a VA, you can, as a buyer, you are 100%, and most of the time you get the closing costs, so there's really no skin in the game anyway.
I'll let you do a promo. I'll let you do a promo for the open house.
Now?
Yes.
Okay, we have a luncheon at Chattahoochee River Club.
Right here in front of you. Flyers in front of you.
And a girl is texting me. And it's in the estate section, it's yummy Italian food, and it's very close to the office.
And you'll be entered into a drawing, right?
Oh, I've done it right. Yeah.
For 1 month's free dues, I'll put it on the table today. Or you go in there and do it, and you'll also be put in for one drawing for the beginning of the month, monthly money for it. So go check it out, good Italian food. You want to put your life on it, that's good.
Yeah.
I wanted to introduce that VA thing. There are different ways to handle it. What I told Phil is I said, go back to the agent and say, you know what our ills are. Why don't you write up an agreement that covers those and handles those, and I'll present it to the seller and see if we can work things out. Because my thoughts with Phil was, hey, why do we want to go try and solve? Let them write it up, understanding what our ills are, and see what they come up with. Then we got something we can manage through, keep the ball in play. Any questions from anybody?
My house, my listing appraised for 30,000 lesser than because it was a VA appraisal.
Oh, yeah.
That is same house, similar flat in the neighborhood, 30,000 difference. Because it was, I guess, a conventional appraisal. Is that common with VA appraisals?
No. No, not common at all. I'll talk about that with you afterward. Okay. Take control of your destiny today. Rob, Debbie, when are you gonna be, yeah, by the way, we got a drawing back there. What are the days, Rob, Deb? Wednesday, Thursday, Waterdown Saturday, talk to Terry Friday. And come see Hyro on Thursday, 1 to 2. These are all productive, active things. Mundo, let's go, let's get it going.
If you want to put your business card, please, I got 2 life cards for Robinson.
While we're getting ready to draw, there's a sign-up sheet for the 400 North Board Circle of Excellence dinner if you'd like to go. For the award recipients, we will be providing the dinner for you. It's $35, so we'll cover that expense for you if you want to go. Come sign up. Make sure you get the assessment page on the way out. Let's go, Edmund.
Were you sending that out?
Oh, yeah, you never
All right, Amy Kinsey. You must be President Wynn. And she is president, so she won.
Carrabba's or cheesecake?
Cheesecake or what?
Carrabba's. Okay. And Mr. Barona.